is Andrew Alexander King. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, born there originally, but I would say a citizen of the world. Was adopted by my grandparents, moved around. Hawaii is where I learned how to surf and find myself in peace and climb. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. For the longest time, I only climbed to find peace. So I would go up to the highest point of a volcano and islands, meditate, and then come down and surf. I just wanted to get away and find peace in the world. So it wasn't really to like be known or really to like conquer anything. I just really liked to be out in nature and felt like I was never judged by nature, so I got to be myself. And so it was the only place with my lottery ticket of life, I tell people, of like being born African American, where I was like, I'm not going to be judged. I can just sit here and meditate, reflect on myself. And over time, it just kept evolving. The mountains just kept getting higher and higher, and I just kept going up and up. But alpinism came after years of just climbing, you know, from Kilimanjaro, Aconcagua, Mauna Kea, Mount Fuji, Tabacu, multiple mountains around the world. And alpinism, at first, I really didn't think I was going to like it. I was actually against being in cold weather. I was like, you cannot get me from a tropical island and then I cannot go surf. I just want to do that. But as more and more I started to do it, I started just falling in love with it. And so for me, it was really something that I really enjoyed. So the Between Worlds project is a part of something that I built, and it's basically funded through my normal job. And so I fund everything from working with the guides over there. So the guides I have here in Chamonix, like that comes under my paycheck. The donations I do to nonprofits, whatever, that comes on my paycheck. The flights, the Airbnbs, all of that. Until 2 years ago, no one knew who I was, and I was okay with that, because I said to myself that it should be about the nonprofits. But you do need a glue to make it, you know, that's something that's tangible and relatable to. And so the Between Worlds project is basically showing that none of us in this world, people that are hearing this, you, me, the people on the side of this, you know, hill, no one asked to be, when they came into the world, what they wanted to be. They were just like, here's your lottery ticket to life. Your value is based upon the economics and society boundaries that you have. I didn't ask to be born black and be born to a single parent in Detroit. It's just what came out of it. And so my value was already determined by a country that is still navigating what that means.
Here we are, out with the duo. I call them the duo. And that's Matt and Terry. Or sis. There's sis.
Andrew is up on his mission.
When it comes to racial division, it goes back to that lottery trick. No one in this world was asked to be born a race or a color or something that people will hate. Hate is a choice. That's a straight up choice. You being born your color, your skin color, to your family, where you stand, that was never your choice. How you treat people is a choice. And so for me, in the outdoor world, I'll just be very blunt and say this. Walking into the terrain hut, going climbing, everyone's looking at me. They're not looking at me because of my neck tattoos that I have out, because like I'm not covered in my suit or buttoned up. They're looking at me because I don't look like everyone else. And some of the guides would ask me, like, how does that make you feel? And I said, when I started this 10 years ago and I would go around, it made me feel so insecure because I wasn't as equipped. I didn't even know how to put on crampons. I didn't even know how to read a rock grade or even read rock. And when I went up Kilimanjaro and like Walmart boots and, you know, barely anything I had, I vomited and ran to the summit. And so being here at this hut now, an experience, and walking across the glacier and leading that, I'm proud of that.
Yo, how was that?
It was amazing. It was amazing, dude. We should do it again. I would delete it too. But now we know. I love Alpines is like, put me back on sport. Matt's like this, sending it. Boulder, he's like this, boulder than the boulder. And I'm like, oh, I want to do some like, you know, ballet poses, yoga. And so over time, I just kept going from places from South America to Africa to Europe to Southeast Asia to the Middle East. And I would really sit down and be like, okay, you're going to this place to climb or to surf. What are you really looking to do? Like, what are the issues that this place is dealing with? And I would look for nonprofits that are basically not heavily funded, not big, and dealing with very big issues. Some is, you know, again, how women's rights are used, or how sexism is, and like how women go missing in Mexico, or how there's deforestation happening in Ecuador when I go to climb Cotopaxi. And I would just sit down with these individuals and these nonprofits and say, hey, my name's Andrew. I just want to come and like learn from you. Is that okay? And people would think I was weird at first. To be given that award and be on that list with people that have trailblazed and made this light that even on the darkest days I would look to, and be in the same category and be in that magazine. I cried that day because I didn't know if I'd done enough yet to deserve it. And honestly, I haven't climbed like a 515. I climbed like a 511. But I mean, like, I've climbed 70 mountains where they're all like high altitude. I've just now gotten into technical alpining. And so to see people really notice that I'm doing the best I can and trying to do it the right way so the next person can do it and have a choice. And when I get to the end of the road and I get out of the car, I can give the keys to someone else and like, here's a map, go where you want to go. I never in a million years thought that. There isn't a lot of alpinists of color, and there's not, or diversity, women of alpinists. And some of the best people that I look up to are actually women alpinists, because I relate to so much in that because they are already, you know, looked differently. So I'm working right now in 3 different initiatives. One we already talked about, which is climate change and the climate change here in Europe. The second is getting more diversity into alpinism and outdoor sports. And people ask, how do you do that? So it's working with climbing gyms back home in California and setting up programs where there is more diversity. Kids, no matter what they look like and where they come from, they're able to have the opportunity, again, the choice to go climb in this gym. And then the partnerships that I have in my contract, I can say, hey, these kids are climbing, can you take this amount and give it to these programs that these kids are doing? And really see themselves being better. And so that's the second initiative. The third is for athletes right now. So working with Sports Academy in LA, which is a high performance professional sports facility to get more athletes that are dealing with mental fatigue or issues like with ligaments, and make sure that they have a place that they can go to. So right now I'm working with them to be like, let's set up at least some kind of funding that I'll donate to this. Like if you're someone that's like, hey Andrew, I'm doing this really hard climb and I ended up like spraining, you know, my ligament here or there, and you're close. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to the team at Sports Academy and there's some funding waiting for you there. Do you need to go, like, you know, really take care of your body for the longevity? I think in our sport, we kind of forget how demanding we are to our body and what we're doing more than like the traditional athletes. And so I want to really change that a little bit, or at least open up that Pandora's box, I call it, to like make more athletes have access to that. So yeah, we just finished climbing Mount Percy here with Matt and Sister T, Teresa, and it's been really cool. And you know, this season didn't turn out too well. Didn't get to climb Matterhorn or Eiger or Blanc because of the climate conditions and not being safe. And I decided I'd rather respect the mountain and the community and come back in the winter and spring and come again and just climb that. So it'd be really cool. Thanks for Matt and the team for inviting me out to climb with them. Really cool and safe, and I just loved it every step of the way. And yeah, if you're ever in the valley, I really recommend doing this climb. It's worth it, and it was just cool. And Teresa sent it on every one, basically just killed it.
And so. Matt and approach shoes.
Matt and approaches the entire time. And I was just taking video and laughing and drone shooting. So thanks Hugo for everything. Sorry it didn't turn out the way we wanted to climb, but you know, respect the mountain and respect the people, and good things happen in the future. So laters.
Peace out.